Another wild dog appeared and lunged toward me aggressively. I was terrified and crawled under the car, but the animal was desperately hungry and bit into my leg. I cried out in pain repeatedly. I struggled to crawl deeper under the car and finally escaped. The animal then turned to feed on a deer that had been struck earlier. I immediately used the wrench to push the deer away, but without support the car began to roll. I quickly crawled out from underneath and used my body to brace against the car, trying to stop it from moving, but my strength was far too limited. The car was about to slide toward the cliff. At the critical moment, one of the wheels was blocked by a rock. The car finally came to a stop. I let out a breath of relief, but when I looked at my unconscious son inside, my heart sank again. If I could not open the door, I might truly lose my child. I turned back and looked at the cliff, and a thought formed in my mind. I decided to push the car off the cliff, planning to damage the car enough to open it. At the moment the car went over the edge, the smart system responded immediately. Alarms sounded continuously. The gyroscopic balance system fully activated, adjusting the car's landing position. The car landed on the ground. I hurriedly climbed down after it and found the car was completely unharmed. It only had an extra layer of dust. I collapsed once again in despair. Not knowing how my child was, the car was unbelievably strong. Just as I was pounding on the door and crying, I realized the door was actually unlocked. I tried pulling the handle, and the door opened. I was overwhelmed with emotion. I quickly lifted my child out and moved him to the shade to cool down. While I rested, the car's system began repairing itself. Moments later, the car started with no visible damage. I stared at everything in disbelief, but my son was still unconscious. He needed immediate medical care. I placed my son back safely and started the car. A short while later, we arrived at the hospital, and medical staff rushed to treat him. When I saw my son open his eyes, my heart was finally at peace.